I got a really cool guest on today and his career spanned so many different things. I think if you said 20 years ago, hey, it's going to take him over here to wrestling, you'd probably say, how is that possible? My dude, Freddie Prinze Jr., how are you, my man?
I'm very well. How are you?
Good. Now, my life in martial arts as well. Had a couple fights early on in the early days and before Fox made me stop, which I don't understand why. I'm clearly not on TV for my looks.
Yeah, but they don't want you coming on with black eyes and
no
cuts
doubt
on your head, man. Get out of here.
My first day at Fox, 2004, the day before I won the Naga Worlds in submission fighting.
Get out of here.
Yeah, but I ended up getting really fucked up in the process. My very first day of the NFL owners meeting, 2004, and I come in and my eyes shut and my foot is fucked up, my rib is broken, and the head of Fox was like, "What the fuck happened to you?"
Car David crash, Hill.
Man. And I was just like, my eyes shut. I'm going, hey, I just won the World Submission Fighting Championship. She's like, I don't know what the fuck that is, but you'll never fucking do it again.
That's why you lie, bro. Make sure
that's exactly right.
Yeah. I got hit by a bus.
I kept doing it, and man, I became everybody's favorite sparring partner for a little while. They said I couldn't fight, but they said I couldn't continue to spar and train and all that. And obviously, then I learned how to start coaching, and coached a ton of guys over these years. Who was those early days you were talking about, right? And with your crews, training with Bruce Lee and Judo Gene LaBelle and all that, who kind of stands out? Because I trained with Dan Santo just for a weekend, who was unbelievable, right? Who were those early legends stands out for you?
Dennis Alexio was really good to me when I was a kid. He was a former ISKA heavyweight kickboxing champion, beat the hell out of Bronco Sikatic in Hawaii. Weird finish because Bronco claimed he didn't know leg kicks were allowed, so they started the fight over, and Dennis beat his ass again. Rick Rufus was really cool to me when I was a kid. Brian Hurry, who was his best friend, who competed at the national level, is still one of my closest friends to this day. Big ass Brian. He's another Milwaukee boy, 6'5", 260. He's in his 50s now, and it still looks like a stone killer. He's just a monster. Pat Johnson, Chuck Norris taught me how to throw the wheel kick. But he was, a working actor, so he wasn't like my full-time coach where Pat really was. Gokor for a little bit.
Oh, wow.
Which was Pat's student. Yep. But I fell in love with jiu-jitsu, and they introduced me to a man named Jean-Jacques Machado.
Sure.
And I thought I was a hot shit wrestler at 14, 15 when I met him. And in less than 10, he had one hand. So I'm like, I'd gone with guys that were older than me before and done well. And I'm like, this guy's not going to have anything. And I didn't know that he had just beat the hell out of Chuck and Bob. And they gave Jean-Jacques and all his brothers their first real estate space. It was in Wall Street Village. That was Bob Wall's building. And so they were there rent free. That's how good they were. And in less than 10 seconds, he had me in a fireman's carry and stood up and spins me around on the second floor and goes, "Which window, little Freddy? Which window?" And I'm like Chris Tucker in Rush Hour, like, which one of y'all just kicked me, right? And so he set me down and he started teaching me how comfortable he was on his back and why he was comfortable there. And that was my introduction to jiu-jitsu. This was like 1992, 93.
Oh, wow.
And then, as I started working in this business, my training slacked. And then as I took time off, my training increased. I met the Gracies after that, trained with them for a while, and then found my way back to Jean-Jacques a few years ago and have just been with him ever since. I love training with the man. He's always been good to my family. He's taught me more about fatherhood than jiu-jitsu, so it's something I try to enforce on my kids as well. My son takes to it more than my daughter. But, we're in LA, so they get access to the best. Like his boxing coach was Wayne McCullough. He was 7.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like when your kids have access to that, it's just like, it feels crazy not to use it. So we do as a family, Sarah trained Taekwondo, got all the way to a brown belt before she became the busiest woman in Hollywood and worked 17 hours a day on Buffy back in the day. But yeah, man, I still love it to this day. I still train. It keeps me sane. It keeps me sharp. It keeps me vulnerable, which I think is important.
That's exactly right.
And it's made me a better man.
Yeah, it's funny because, my training partners end up being, Randy Couture and Chuck Liddell. And
Jesus Christ.
After we, be in the cage beating the hell out of each other, that's where we get really vulnerable and start opening up about, our shitty relationships and whatever's going on between our ears. And people come past, especially Randy and I, we'd cry our eyes out. And people walk past the cage and not really get it. And be like, man, these guys are crying. They really beat the hell out of each other. Like,
You know,
not knowing we're just opened up to each other.
When you spar with someone and you're trusting them enough to give them opportunities to practice what you've been discussing, and they in turn are giving you opportunities for you to execute, like there has to be a next level of trust there. And that's why they say like blood, sweat, and tears is the ultimate glue, right? As my godfather used to say, blood, sweat, and tears is the ultimate glue. It makes men stick. And it does, man. Like, that's why they were all brothers. That's why they all wanted to beat the crap out of Steven Seagal in the 90s. And that whole group of them were like, screw you, we want you to die. Like, you know, because they were brothers. They had cut each other. They had bled with one another. They had cried in each other's arms, you know, same kind of thing, man. Yeah. It's a different experience. People that haven't experienced it won't get it. It'll just sound like Yoda BS.
Right.
But it's not. Once you have it once, it's why people talk about it like a religion, because it really humbles you and it opens you up, man.
But it gives you this type of team. Again, for me, like one of my pillars of getting me through my grade, depression, anxiety is to have a team. And there's no more, you know, primal team, if you will, but loving team than these guys. And people, you're right, they don't understand. Like, wait, you could all beat the shit at each other, but then really love each other even more than the rest of us? Yeah.
More than your other friends.
Yeah. Like, you don't get angry at each other? I'm like, no, I love them more for that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But we all need some sort of fight team, even if you don't literally fight. That's why I call it a fight team, where you know that people will walk this walk with you to a different level.
Not even 15 feet to my right are my wrestling mats over there. And even if it's not like with John Jacques, my buddy's an ex-Marine, Tyler Smith. He fought for a little bit. He's got a black belt in jiu-jitsu. Like, he'll come over and we'll just get on the mats and go. And I don't even ask what's going on, but I'm like, something happened today.
Something happened, yep.
And we need to roll. So come on over and let's go. You know, so you just know at a certain point, like, yeah, okay, my bro needs me. Let's do our thing.
Couture just got out of the hospital from a widowmaker heart attack in our gym.
Oh my God.
Yeah. He had it in the gym, Unbreakable, at the own on Sunset Strip, and then walked to the Cedars-Sinai, and he gets a stent put in, and he comes back 3 weeks later into the gym, and he goes in and he gets all stuff on. I said, what are you doing? He said, let's go. I said, dude, what are we doing here? He's like, let's go. I said,
yeah, it better be a photo shoot.
You just had a widowmaker heart attack, full on widowmaker heart attack. And he just said this, I would do it for you. I was like, fuck me. Right? But that's the brotherhood, right?
That's a hook you can't get out of your mouth.
I got to do it, man.
You could be Jaws and you're hooked, and that's it. That's it.
We went in there and beat the shit out of each other for 15 minutes, and he took his gloves off, threw them on the ground. He said, hey, fuck those doctors, and walked out of the cage. Yeah. And that's that different brotherhood, man, right?
Fuck those doctors. Look, I know it's not responsible for someone like me to say it, but sometimes you know what your heart needs, you know what your body needs. I know people that are like, you'll never run again. And my man ran the LA Marathon the next year, and we're like, screw that, I'll show you. And he's in better shape than me.
By the time I'd gotten to critical care in the hospital post-op, I was like basically busting through to go see him. The doctor told me 10 times, hey, your friend's days of fighting, those days are over. I'm like, hey, let's not fucking say that here. Yeah. Let's not take away his hope. So that was his version of, hey, fuck these doctors.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's exactly what he
straight up.
And then, by the way, he continued to coach for the next 3 hours after our little 15 minutes. So, yeah, that's what that
guy's a unicorn, though, at the same time.
Yeah, he's different.
Know what I mean?
That fucker's different. Yeah, no doubt. Hey, you and your wife are different. And when you talk about her martial arts, but you know, Hollywood couples, you normally look at them like, oh man, this is a disaster, right? And you and your beautiful wife, who, like you said, has been working for a long, long time.
Yeah, man.
Why do you and Sarah Michelle Gellar work so much? What is it that you guys set out that, you know, the rest of, I guess, Hollywood fucked up? This hasn't sunk into you guys.
Look, I don't know a simple answer. I will say this. You know, if you look at the national divorce rate in our whole country, it's over 50%. You know what I mean? In Hollywood, it's probably more like 90, but 50 is not a good number. You know what I mean? So I think a lot of people get married maybe too young. You know, they don't know themselves 100% yet. And as you discover who you are in a relationship, if you make a big change, you may no longer be the person that your spouse married. You know what I mean? And I think that breaks a lot of people up. I think it's also a tradition that's not for everyone, and some people feel pressured to be a part of it. But as far as what makes it work for us, Sarah and I were friends first. She knew what kind of man I was. I knew what kind of woman she was. And then when we started dating, there was no honeymoon period because our friendship was that. So trust was easier to come by. I already knew her faults, right? She already knew my faults. She knew, I told her, I was like, look, I'm gonna play video games till I'm 60. Like, I don't care. If you think that sucks, that's too bad for you. We won't go out, I promise. And so she was like, yeah, cool. She's like, I like reality TV. Don't talk shit about it. I'm like, right on, do your thing. So we don't shit all over each other, which I think is priority 1. We still make one another laugh, which is priority 2. And I still think she's hot, and she still thinks I'm, moderately decent looking. So, and all that aside, have a skill they don't. She can't cook, I can. So she can't get rid of me unless she wants her food cost to go up.
I'd marry you for that.
You ain't the first guy to tell me that either.
Is it? What are kind of some of the pitfalls of being a Hollywood couple that, let's say, the rest of America doesn't really have to deal with?
People wanting to fuck you 24 hours a day.
Okay.
That tends to be a problem. You look at the reason why most of these relationships break up is because somebody's screwing somebody else.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So I think there's a lot more opportunity for fame. I mean, maybe I'm not supposed to say this, but that's the way it is. Like, people see famous people and they just look at them differently. And there's a lot more opportunity for those people to cheat. It's more often men than women. At least that's what is released in the media. So I'll go with that. I don't know if women are out there as horny as men are or not. But, that goes to maybe you shouldn't have got married in the first place because you don't 100% know yourself. And if you don't know yourself, I'm telling you, you're going to change. Even when you do, I'm not the same guy I was 10 years ago, not even close. And compared to when I was 20, I was one of the dumbest sons of bitches on earth at 21 years old. I'm 47 now and just figured out, wow, pretty stupid. I got to learn some more shit. You know what I mean? But I thought I had it in my 30s. I was like, got it. We're good. Don't need any more advice. And then hit 35 and was talking to my godfather every other day. Like, what am I doing with my life? Is this a mistake? Should I not have retired? Why did I join the WWE? Was that stupid? He's like, no, that was your dream. You loved it. You actually got to help some of those guys and girls. I'm like, yeah, all right. So, I'm still working it out today.
Wow. That definitely hits for me. It definitely hits home for me. It does. Hey,
we'll humble each other as the podcast goes.
I just got engaged 2 weeks ago. I'm 53.
Congrats. You waited. Good.
I had a couple bad ones beforehand, but I think in the past 2 I would sabotage and push everybody away. I didn't feel worthy.
Men do that a lot, especially men that struggle for success. That's a very big Sigmund Freud thing is men who become hyper successful but struggled for that success often have self-worth issues.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it bleeds into sexual relationships and loving relationships, things like that. So that's normal. That's just normal shit.
And this girl, her name's Rosie Tennyson. She and her sister Renee Tennyson, they were the Doublemint twins back in the day.
Get out of town.
Yeah. They kind of been in the business.
What if one of them's like, hey, I'm busy tonight. I don't want to hurt Jay's feelings. Will you take him to the beach?
It's hard to tell when they're on either side of you because you can't, they talk exactly the same. They sound exactly the same. They look exactly the same. Renee parts her hair in the middle. Rosie, my girl, parts her hair on the side.
Thank God for that.
It's bad. Yes, but it's bad. And I'll kind of go in, grab the wrong hand or going for the wrong ass cheek by accident. So the wrong one. That's it. Nice. Wrong one.
Nice.
But the point
they're used to it though.
They're used to it. Yeah. But Rosie also, we were together for beforehand and we split because I did push her away and I wasn't. But that, like you're saying, you went at 35 and said, man, I got to learn some new stuff. At 52, I said, I really got to go learn some new things and learn that I'm worthy of this, that, the great doesn't deserve to beat me. My depression, anxiety they can't win. They're not going to set the stage for the rest of my life.
And
so
it's never a fight.
Too late. Yeah,
it's a
absolutely.
fight, but you need the tool. A lot of people don't have the tools to fight it, and that's why they feel like they're losing all the time. And that's why I encourage my friends to get help. If venting to me is not working, then find a doctor, find a counselor, find somebody that can help give you the weapons you need to fight this fight because it's a legit fight. People that suffer with it, I have. You know what I mean? And it's questioning yourself damages your soul, man. When it damages your soul. And if you do it too much, it's irreparable. So you got to get it in check. You got to get it in check, man, because your soul is what grants you success. Your soul is when it's as dark and horrible and bad as it is. Your soul's either the drill sergeant that's like, get up now, you're not done. Or it's that nurturing, mother type figure where it's like, you're going to be okay. This is bad, but pain is temporary. Tomorrow's a new day, but it's one or the other, right? Maybe somebody out there has another version of it, but for me, that's what it's.
Yeah.
So yeah, that talking shit to yourself. There's enough people that'll find reasons to hate you. You don't need to join in.
Yeah. The roommates in my head didn't talk nicely to each other and still don't, but now I know how to handle them better. And for the first time I felt worthy, and that's where, hey, it's never too late.
That's
right. It's never too late, man. I appreciate that.
Yeah, that's big time.
Before I let you go, got two more things. One, when we talk about your podcast, I'm going to hit you on your unbreakable moment. So we talked about wrestling with Freddie. Tell us about that. You got to have me on that one time.
Look, dude, if you love wrestling, man, come on. I grew up loving it. And I mean loving it. I only like the bad guys because they were the ones who won on free TV, the pay-per-views.
Right.
Pay, right? And we were broke, so that wasn't going to happen. But when I walked away from the business in 2007, I randomly took a job, and I mean randomly took a job for WWE, and I worked there for 2 years and worked directly with talent, flew to every single or drove to every single show. I was crazy disciplined. Then I started a family, walked away. The first season of the podcast was my experience there, and now it's more my perspective on the business today, and who I love. And then we go on side quests as things happen that remind me of crazy stories that happened. But it's just more storytelling at its heart, and it's called Wrestling with Freddie. Yeah.
Great, man. That's fantastic. Hey, like I said, I was WrestleMania 1. The Rock wrote the foreword to my book. My baby sister, The Rock. Sick. Yep. Which is great.
Yo, Sarah made a movie with The Rock that both of them hate. It was not a good movie, but he took so many big swings in it, and you can really watch the development of that dude's career from Scorpion King to where he is now. Same with Batista. You can really see the growth in both those guys. Yeah,
no, Dwayne and I did 5 years in Ballers together where I played my normal dickhead self. So that was great. And just because of how much I fuck with them, they kept like, oh yeah, let's keep it in. Let's keep it in. Let's keep it in.
That's great though.
My ADD, I can't remember scripts. So I would just kind of do my own thing.
They just let you wing it. Yeah. But as long as the actors around you can hang, then it's all good.
I got a lot of friends in that business, man. And, Batista and Mark Henry and Big Show. And
Mark's the best, dude.
Yeah, isn't he?
The friggin' best, man. I love that
Phenomenal.
Dude so much, man.
He walks in Unbreakable and he says, hey, man, any chance you got a 54 shorts around here? I'm like, who the fuck would have a 54 shorts laying around?
There's not that much cotton in this town. It would have to be made of hemp.
He says, hey, 54 in the waist, sexy in the face.
That's right. That's right, baby.
That sums him up, man. So
that's right.
Hey, before I let you go, I ask all my guests this. Give me your unbreakable moment. One thing in life, man, that could have broken you, should have broken you, but it didn't. And as a result, you came through the other side of that tunnel stronger forever.
Yeah, I mean, we touched on it earlier because there's nothing unbreakable about me. Being breakable is what keeps me sharp. It's what keeps me focused. It's what keeps me disciplined, knowing that all this precious life, everything I have, it can all be gone in a moment's notice if life doesn't turn out the way it's supposed to. So every time those moments come, I really try to be prepared for them. When I decided to move to Los Angeles and pursue this business, that was one of those make or break moments. I could have quit. I could have given up. I hated being told no. I hated being told I wasn't good enough. I hated having bad auditions when I knew I had a better performance somewhere inside me. I just couldn't get it out at that moment. I had moments in the car where I wanted to turn around and be like, yo, give me one more chance. But you can't do that. It's so unprofessional. So there were times where I was ready to walk away. And then, it was that discipline from my godfather, and those BS quotes that he would always hit me with. I'm in control of my actions and my reactions to the actions of others. And so every no I heard, I just had to control the way that made me feel. And it was, all right, you don't think I'm good enough? You'll see. And the next time I went in, I made sure I was better. I had to hustle. I had to lie. I did everything I could to get as many auditions and as much experience as I could so that when those big dogs called me in, they couldn't talk shit. Like they wouldn't be able to deny me. And eventually I broke through. I had to wait for Skeet Ulrich to be busy because we popped at the same time. But once he booked a movie, I was like, all right, there's going to be 6 opportunities. Right. I got to get one of them.